Welcome. My name is Jennifer Bond. I'm the Program and Marketing Coordinator for Boulder's Master of Science in Data Science on campus at CU Boulder. I'll also help get us started today. Caitlin, do you want to throw a quick introduction in as well?
Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin Rye, and I am the Graduate Program Advisor for the MSDS program. So you probably have heard from me already if you've started an application, but I'll be the person that you'll work with throughout the admissions process, as well as your time here at Boulder if you decide to join us at this program. And I'll help with any course planning, advising, those types of things. So you'll definitely see a lot more of me. So welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us, and I'll be joining us later too.
Great, thanks Caitlin. So as Caitlin said, thank you for joining us today. We're really excited to have you at this webinar. And before we start, I'm going to go ahead and get us oriented. So first, I just want you to know that we are recording this webinar, so we will share that recording link on our website. Don't worry if you missed something. You can head back to our website and go to the admissions events, and you'll see the recording there within a few days. We'll we're going to be using the Q&A feature more than the chat, but right now I just want to introduce everyone to the Zoom interface. If you're on a computer and you hover your mouse over the bottom of the screen, you're going to see a little chat icon. Go ahead and click that now and tell us where you're joining us from today. We get people from all over the world, and it's really exciting to see where people are coming from. So throw something in there and let us know where you're joining us from. Oh, I see some folks from India, Colorado, Massachusetts, California, Nigeria, all over. Wow. Great. Well, it's great to have you all here. I'm going to disable the chat in a few moments, and then Caitlin is going to give us a presentation kind of overviewing an overview of what the program is about, and just a general sense of the MSDS program. And then we're going to get to what you're all here for, which is meeting the data science students, and so she'll introduce them to you. So at that point, you'll be able to use the Q&A feature. It's right next to the chat button. So for right now, if you can please hold your questions, and then when Caitlin opens it up to the data science students, if you can use that feature, we'll give you a little reminder. All right, let's get into it.
Great. Thanks, Jennifer. So as she mentioned, we're going to do a quick program overview before we get to meet the data science students, just in case anyone is new to learning about the program. And we want to just highlight some key things about the university and about the program as well, because we figured that probably answers some of your questions that you might have for the students. But the Master of Science in Data Science program is housed at the University of Colorado Boulder, which is right in Boulder, Colorado. And so we want to highlight some key information about the university. So in general, CU Boulder is a world-class university with over 850 visiting international scholars. We are in the top 30 in the world in education based on educational quality, student training, faculty prestige, and faculty research. We were also recently ranked as number 59 in Best Global Universities by US News and World Report. And we are also a Tier 1 Research 1 institution, and we have a huge entrepreneurial spirit on the campus as well. So these are all things that we're really proud of, that highlights the university. So moving on, in terms of the campus, CU Boulder also has a very active student life. So as a student, you are encouraged and welcome to join a student organization or club. You can check out different student events that are hosted by departments or different departments on campus. We also encourage you to join the graduate and professional student government, which allows you to have a voice in the government, in the policy of the university. And you can also get involved with different things such as intramural sports, club sports, or be involved in the cultural events board. So there's also a lot of different campus dining options, great study spots around campus. And once again, there's a lot of different departments and program councils that put on live events, concerts, and movie screenings. So you certainly have lots to do on campus. In terms of the general community as well, Boulder is a great town. So I saw some of you are from around the area in Denver. So you probably have been to Boulder. For some of our students who are coming from afar, who maybe have never been to Boulder, Boulder is a really great place. It's known as a foodie town. There are a lot of great restaurants, coffee shops, craft breweries. So once again, lots to do on campus and off campus. There's also opportunities to get involved in outdoors activities. Colorado is right in the mountains, in the foothills. So there's lots to do with hiking, skiing, going on different hikes, such as the Hanging Lake Trail, which is a couple hours away from campus. There are different national parks. Rocky Mountain National Park is only about an hour away from campus. We have Garden of the Gods, which is only about an hour and a half from campus. So lots of things to do both in Boulder and beyond in kind of the broader Colorado universe. In terms of our specific data science program, there's also lots of opportunities for student involvement within the program. So the program itself is designed to be a cohort style program. So students will typically come in starting in the fall semester, and they'll be taking the same type of classes as everyone else in the program, for the most part, with the exceptions of some electives throughout your time in the program. So this allows you to really be able to connect with other data science students and really kind of get that opportunity to join other students from the time that you're taking your first class to the time that you graduate. And because of that, there's lots of opportunities to get involved with your other cohort members. So there is a mentor-mentee program. So as a current student, you have an opportunity to be a mentor for incoming students. And actually several of our students that you'll meet later today are mentors in the program. We also have different group activities that happen. We are hosting a Thanksgiving event tomorrow, so opportunities to engage with their classmates outside of the class to celebrate different things that are going on around campus and just around the US in terms of holidays and different activities. We have different career fairs and professional networking opportunities. There's also a hackathon that we're going to be doing once a year in January that allows students to kind of take that programming skill that they have learned in the program and interact in a way where it's a competition. So lots of different opportunities to get involved with just the program as well. So now getting into the basics of the program. So this is a professional master's program that trains you to work in the field of data science. So we're going to be looking at the curriculum in a moment where you'll see that this program is uniquely interdisciplinary. So data scientists need to be able to communicate with specialists and non-specialists. So technical people at a company and non-technical people at a company. So being able to work in an interdisciplinary team is really the key to success in the field, which is why we've designed the curriculum this way. So we'll also talk about opportunities to apply your learning before you graduate in an internship, independent study, or a research project. So most students typically will take about 2 years to finish the degree. There is an opportunity to take shorter or longer, kind of depending on the pace, but the program itself is designed to be completed in typically about 4 semesters if you're doing the program full time. And the program itself is STEM certified. So any international students that are here today are eligible for that OPT STEM extension benefit on their student visas. So here is a list of some of the courses, and we do have a full list of the curriculum online. I just want to spend a little bit of time on this, but the degree itself is 30 credits. So you will take 21 core credits, which do consist of different statistical applications, which typically use R as the main programming language. And you'll also take a lot of computer science foundational classes, such as data structures and algorithms, data mining, and machine learning. And those classes will typically be taught in Python. So you're going to have a mastery of both R and Python, in addition to using data science in a statistical way, in addition to using it kind of in a computer science way. So you're learning how to use data in a variety of different formats. And then in addition to those 21 core credits, you do also have 9 elective credits that you can take. And this is something that during your time as a student, you'll work with me just to make sure that you're taking electives that align with your goals, the program objectives. But here are some potential electives you can take. So you can certainly take big data analytics, for example, if you're interested in working more about the application of data. If you're interested in more AI type concepts, you can certainly take neural networks. So there's a lot of different topic areas and a lot of different departments on campus that you can take. So in terms of the admissions process, there are really 2 main pathways that you can take, and this is new this year. So we have a direct to data science pathway, which does consist of majority of our students. So students in this pathway will have experience in mathematics and programming. And we typically expect students to have an intermediate level of both programming and math if you're doing this direct to data science. Specifically, we're looking at differential calculus, integral calculus, and linear algebra. Some concepts that you'll be learning in that math. And then in programming, we specifically look for experience in Python and R. If you are new to data science and you want to make that bridge to your career, or if you are coming from kind of a non-technical or non-STEM path where you might not have that math and programming experience, we do have a bridge to data science pathway that allows you to take those math and programming classes while you're here. So then you're able to kind of jump right into the data science curriculum. And this pathway is a really good fit for students who, once again, don't have that strong math or programming background, but who want to join the data science program and be data scientists in the field. So the graduate committee will review your experience to determine whether you need additional coursework to complete the degree in this pathway. So we'll determine what pathway is best for you, kind of based on your experience and past knowledge that you've learned. So in terms of some minimum qualifications for the admissions process, regardless of the pathway that you're interested in, all applicants must meet these minimum qualifications to be considered for admissions. So we do require the completion of a bachelor's degree, or it could be in progress now, but it does have to be completed by the time you would start coursework in fall 2022. And the bachelor's degree can be in any field. We do also require an undergraduate GPA of at least a 2.75, which is typically about a B or C average. The scale itself is using a 3.0 as a B. And adequate preparation for studying the program. So this is determined by your academic or work experience. In terms of the application materials themselves, you will need to submit a few things to apply, including the application itself, which you can go ahead and get started now at any point. We do require an application fee. We require unofficial transcripts. We don't need official transcripts yet, but you can submit unofficial transcripts directly into your application portal. We do require a short personal statement that will explain your interest in the program and what you hope to get out of it. We also require at least 2 letters of recommendation, a resume, and then proof of English proficiency if you're not a native English speaker. We also do not require a GRE, nor do we review the GRE. So these are some quick application materials. We do have an application tips webinar coming up in December, as well as a few other events. So if you do have questions that you want to get more in depth about the application process or about the program, I would encourage you to join us with some of these upcoming webinars. So on December 1st is the application tips webinar at 6:30 p.m. December 7th at 2 p.m. there's a webinar to meet the data science faculty. So you can hear about some key things that they teach in their classes and their specialties in the data science field. And then on January 6th, we have one last webinar that kind of is a last minute Q&A about the program and application as you go to complete your application, which is due on January 15th. And that application does close January 15th at 10 p.m. Mountain Time. So make sure you're giving yourself enough time to submit all of these materials, letters of recommendation, the English proficiency test, transcripts, anything else. They sometimes do take a little while to get to us. So just make sure that you're giving yourself enough time and submitting that application in a timely manner, so that way the admissions committee can review your application and get you a decision as soon as possible. And we will release all decisions by mid-April at the latest. So hopefully it'll be a little bit sooner than that, but at the very last date, it will be mid-April. So I just kind of did a very quick program and application overview, but I know that most of you are here to actually meet the students and hear about the program experience and the student experience that they have right now. So I'm going to encourage all of our data science students that are here with us today to turn on your camera so we can all see you. And then I'll go around and have each of you introduce yourself, probably in the order that you're in this slide. And then we'll get into the Q&A. So Andrew, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everybody. So my name is Andrew Eds. I am one of the new people in the data science program this semester. I am originally from Singapore, but I've lived in Colorado for the last 4 years, where I was completing my undergrad at Colorado College, which is a small school about 2 hours away from here. I studied math and economics there, so my background is mostly rooted in statistics, but I also had some programming experience, and yeah, I've just really enjoyed the program so far.
Hi everyone, my name is Priya Avasti. I am originally from India. I did my bachelor's and master's in statistics and mathematics. So I think I'm passionate about numbers and any insights that data reveals, which motivated me to pursue my master's in data science. Apart from academics, I am interested in climbing, skiing, hiking, and yeah, and my journey in data science program has been great so far.
Hi everybody, my name is Darsh. I am originally from Mumbai, India. I have done my undergrad in information technology from Mumbai, and yeah, I do have a couple of years of programming experience, and the experience so far in the program has been pretty good. It's nice to meet all of y'all.
Hey everybody, it's Vishwam Thakkar here. I am also from India. I did my bachelor's in computer engineering and then have worked as a front office analytics developer, which is basically data analyst and in Infosys for the past 3 years. And that's where my interest for data science started. And so here I am. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah. I'm from Arizona, and I did my undergrad down there too. I was an econ major with a minor in math. So a lot of my background was in stats too, with a little programming. I'm definitely learning a lot more programming here than I did in undergrad. But so far the program has been really nice and really fun. Yeah.
Great. So thanks everyone for introducing yourself. At this point, it's going to turn into the Q&A. So using that Q&A feature would be a great time for you to get all of your questions answered, whether it is about the program that I can help answer, or whether it's more about the student experience and kind of ways to get involved, you know, the curriculum. Feel free to ask away. This is what these students are here for. So I'll start checking out the Q&A part right now, just to make sure they're coming in.
We'll give you a minute or two to think of some questions, but I'd really encourage you to use this opportunity to pick the brains of our current students and learn about their experience and things they wish they knew, things that they would recommend that you consider as part of your search. Oh, I see a few coming in.
Great. So I'll ask the first question. So why did you choose this program at CU Boulder as opposed to another school or program? Does anyone want to take that one first?
I can take that one. Hi, Bridget. So the reason why I chose the program, so I had offers from a couple of places as well, a couple of universities as well. And the reason what made me choose Boulder, one, beautiful weather, amazing mountains and everything. But apart from that, looking at the academic side, it was that the program felt very well structured. As the way, since I'm coming from a computing background, it was very well structured for me with the courses that I take in my first semester as foundational courses, plus at the same time getting a stats background as well, which is I realized well into when I was planning into this data science field that okay, yeah, you do need stats a lot, and that's what a lot of companies as well are kind of keen on asking, that oh, do you have a statistics background, do you know these fundamental things in statistics as well. So that is what kind of drew me into okay, yeah, I want to do this. I want to take the program at CU because it's giving me a computing background as well. At the same time, it's also in helping me with my mathematics foundations as well. I hope that answered your question. If anybody else had something else to add on to that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
just to add on to that. Okay, sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
But
Go ahead.
yeah, but the main part, the main thing that Darsh mentioned is that coming from the computer science background, like you do get the basics of data science where you already have the computing background and also statistics. But at the same time, like CU Boulder, this particular program also offers you the availability of the courses which are not for computer science students. It has like if you don't have any programming knowledge, if you don't have anything for related to programming, you don't know anything, even after that, like they do make sure that you get the necessary courses done so that you are on par with the other data scientists out there in the world. So as Darsh mentioned, like the entire program was very well structured for computer science students and for statistics students, as well as for the students who do not have any background in either of those and are coming from some other background. So I guess that's also one of the reasons you can select CU Boulder over other universities. Go ahead, Priya.
Yeah, I think I'll add on top of what Darsh and Vishwam just mentioned. Apart from the well-defined structure of the course, the program gives us the flexibility to choose from a number of electives. For example, like Vishwam and Darsh have a computing background, so they would want to add a lot more statistics course. But at the same time, I have statistics background, so I would want to take a lot of computational courses which would fill that gap in my background. So I think that was one other reason which kind of motivated me to choose CU Boulder, because the program is very flexible. It gives you the options to choose from a number of electives, and you can choose according to your ambitions as well. Like for example, if you want to work as a business analyst after completing this data science course, you can choose from the business the number of electives that are aligned with the business aspects of the course. And so I think there are a number of electives from which you can choose from. So that's one other reason. What is
Okay. Oh. Okay. So next question. What is something you wish you asked about or knew before accepting your offer of admittance? Anyone want to tackle that one?
I think one thing that I wish that I knew before joining the course was like, I believe I should have worked harder before like joining the course. And the reason is because you'll have to go through the process of learning the basics of computing, the basics of statistics. So like having a little idea about it beforehand, like before joining the course, like gives an edge, definitely. So I think that that's one thing that I would have wanted to know before that joining the course.
Uh, just to add on to that, like to be honest, webinars like this were also conducted for us. And if you have attended the webinars like this, you pretty much have everything you need to know about the program itself as well as the university and Boulder. Like if you are attending such webinars, you have all the information that you require as somebody who is gonna come here. But for the obviously for preparing for the course or preparing for the program itself, as Priya mentioned, there is something that if you get a little ahead and if you have some if you don't have the background in statistics or computing, and if you can get a gist of what kind of courses it would be, to understand like yes, this is something that I need to do before I go over there, so that I at least have a sort of a background of what I'm gonna learn. That would make your life easier over here, surely.
I'll jump in and add that we are currently developing some courses on Coursera, so you could do some online preparation before you come. There's also courses that are out there that are great as well until ours come live. So yeah, there's a lot of resources out there to help you feel like you have that edge before you get started.
Okay, so next question. So I can, help answer this question too, but I want to hear it from all of you. So any advice for an individual with no programming experience? So first, we do have that Bridge to Data Science Pathway program starting next year, which we didn't have for this cohort. So none of these students are, have probably no programming experience. But there are opportunities to take those Coursera classes that Jennifer was mentioning. You also will have the opportunity to do that Bridge to Data Science Pathway, which would add 7 credits to the degree, but then it allows you to take a class specifically in R, Python, and then also math for data science if you also need to get up to par with your math skills too. But with that being said, does anyone have limited programming experience, or anyone who has advice for ways to kind of prepare for the curriculum that you have found?
Yeah, like as I was mentioning, because I don't have a computational background, so I think like having a little idea about how the code works, or learning about coding beforehand, like, so there are multiple courses from the University of Colorado Boulder available on Coursera. I checked a couple of them. They are great resources. So I think like doing a couple of those would help you definitely in the long run, because like starting a new course with zero experience, I won't say that it's impossible for someone to do it, but obviously it gets overwhelming, like coming from a different background and then doing so many courses, it gets overwhelming.
I can add on to that. Sorry, Sarah. So the thing is that even if you don't have any programming experience, I would not be worried about applying to the program. It's not that if you have no programming experience, you could be like, oh, I'm not going to succeed in the program at all or anything like that. The program has been designed in a way that takes in the aspects of people who are coming from different backgrounds. So, and I guess the best way would be like there are sources online on YouTube, Udemy, Coursera. You have tons and tons of resources out there, and the best way to learn programming is to really get your hands dirty on it. Just take the courses, to start working on something, maybe start working on a simple project as well, from building a simple calculator all the way to building a full-fledged website as well. That is just going to give you any experience that is going to help you in succeeding this program. So just get started with it, and I'm pretty sure you'll have fun while programming as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna add on. I had very little programming experience. Mainly just math was my big background. I definitely suggest learning at least one. So the big one I learned was like VBA. I knew SAS and Stata for like economics as well, but I did multiple projects in Excel and VBA, and a lot of other coding languages are similar to each other. So if you know one, you can very easily like catch up to the others. Like learning R was a little challenge, but once you like got the gist of it, you're like, oh, it's just this and this. So if you understand one code very well, it's going to be easy in this program to pick up like Python and R, which we are using a lot.
Great. So we have another question about industry experience. So someone's asking if any of the current students have industry experience prior to enrolling in the program. And the answer is yes. Students do come from various backgrounds. I will say majority of students come from relatively recent time out of undergrad. So whether that's coming directly out of their undergraduate experience or having anywhere from 1 to 5 years of professional experience and then coming back to graduate school, just because it is kind of that full-time residential program, which is, typically, more geared towards newer professionals or younger students. Not to say that we don't have students who have more industry experience, but we often find that those students will go in our online MSDS program. But with that being said, does anyone here have industry experience or work experience prior to applying for the program?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned in my introduction, I do have experience of 3 years in the field of data analytics. But to be honest, the program is structured in such a way that, and also like they take into consideration people who are just freshly graduates. I know most of there are a lot of students who do not have any sort of industry experience, but at the same time, I do know a lot of my cohort who has industry experience and quite a lot of it. So it actually doesn't matter much. It is just based on how good you put yourself out there. They take into consideration everything while selecting students. So I don't think so like that might create any issues for you. But if you have industry experience or if you don't, I guess everything is perfectly fine. Having industry experience, yes, does give you a little edge when it comes to searching for internships or something, but that is also not that quite a lot where you have to be concerned that I do not have industry experience, will I get a job or will I get an internship or not. You might get a slight advantage if you have the experience in the same field, but yeah, I guess that's everything that you need.
Great, thank you. So we have another question about kind of more limited programming and statistical background. So someone is interested to know if there's a clear distinction in the performance level of students who have a programming and or statistics background versus that of students who don't have either. And kind of one piece of advice that I'll give is if you don't really have either of those backgrounds, you'll probably do that bridge to data science pathway, which will get you up to par by the time that you're kind of taking classes such as data structures and algorithms and the statistical methods and applications, which are kind of the first classes in the program that you would take if you're doing the direct to data science pathway, which is what our current students are doing. So, depending on your level, that's a conversation that you'll definitely have with me just to make sure that you're taking classes that will set you up for success. That's one of the benefits of having that cohort style program is that you get to have that one-on-one advising where you can figure out what classes work best for you. But, and I know we've heard from a few students, but in terms of the curriculum, if someone had limited statistical or programming background, I know we've heard a couple of advices, but is there anything else further that you would kind of advise or suggest at all?
I'd say since I'm coming from a computing background, I barely had any experience on statistics. Like it was a very bare minimum experience, I would say. And somehow apparently statistics has turned out to be the best course that I like. Actually, it's the way that we've been solving assignments, we've been doing computational problems and all, and that is what kind of is what I liked about the stats course. You are considered on an equal level with everybody. You are not considered, oh, you have higher experience, so you'll be doing better. You have less experience, so you'll be kind of left behind or anything. That's not the case over here. It's the professor that teaches as well. He's completely going to take it equally as to everybody's on the same level. It's just that how you take the extra efforts in making sure that you are keeping on par with people who already know something, who maybe are ahead a little bit, and just doing that extra effort day in, day out of putting in extra hours into studies and just keeping the foundation concepts clear. Because even speaking with assignments wise, I would say in statistics, you are going to be solving so many assignments that you'll be solving that many problems in your entire time in the course that you'll be like, okay, like there needs to be a little bit break in solving the problems, I would say. But yeah, that coming from a computing background, I would say with stats, I didn't feel that kind of a performance difference. I would actually was kind of more happy that I was getting to interact with people, especially Priya, who's from a statistics background. I was happy to interact with her because she brings in something that maybe I don't have a knowledge on, and you learn from people from different experiences. And I guess that is what makes a cohort in getting different perspectives when you're learning something.
True. And I think Professor James like teaches exceptionally well. I mean, me being from a statistics background, even then I feel that the way he tries to make us understand the concepts, that is amazing. I mean, so I don't think that anyone who doesn't have a statistics background would feel that they are not able to understand something, because he teaches like really well. He will try to make you understand if you are willing to put in the effort that is needed to understand something. So I think anyone will be able to easily manage in the course.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, data science is is an interdisciplinary course. So basically, it isn't like, if you are not from the computing or statistic background, you cannot put some value into your cohort. If you are coming from, let's say, environmental science, that just an example, you can still, even in the environmental science field, there are requirements for data scientists, and you can bring the very niche knowledge of the environmental science background into the field of data science, and that way you can put your value into the cohort as well. So yes, you might be learning from students who have a computing or a statistic background or both, but at the same time you'll be putting something by yourselves as well, and at the same time helping them learn what your background is, and you will be learning from them. So the having a cohort from multiple backgrounds, like being an interdisciplinary course, is something that really helps out, especially how the program is structured over here at CU Boulder.
Great, thank you. So moving on, there's someone who is interested to know about project-based courses, experience opportunities that are available in the program, and things and ways for them to graduate with projects and things to show for. So one thing I think I definitely didn't mention is a couple of those elective classes that you can take do consist of an independent study, a capstone project, or an internship. So those are ways where you can get that concrete experience in the field or alongside a professor to have a project that you'll graduate with. Now, all of our students here are first-year students, so they haven't taken those classes quite yet. Those will be available really starting in the summer and then next year. But in terms of just the assignments with the classes that you're all in right now, do you find that it's very project-based, very applied-based? What kinds of things are you learning to be able to put on a resume or talk about in an interview in terms of data science?
Yeah, I'll take that. So to be honest, like all the subjects that you take over here has a project background. Like you have to do a project, which is called a final project, basically, which you will submit at the end of the semester. You can work throughout the project, throughout the semester, implementing all the information that you get during the classes, and even more if for example, for data mining classes, most of us are also implementing machine learning in our project, even though it's on a very basic level, probably from the machine learning course that we'll take in the next semester. But it's up to you. Like the professors give you the freedom of how you want to do your projects, or what do you want to implement. If you want to learn by yourself and do it, and all of those things. So and also they motivate you to have different projects for different subjects. You can have a singular project which is like covers everything, all the 3 subjects that you take into that particular semester, for example. But they also motivate you to do different projects, so that you have multiple projects in your pipeline, or on your resume when you finally apply for your jobs or something. So each and every subject will have its own project, and the percentage that it adds to your grades is also a little more like the. So because of that, I guess each and every thing that you learn, you'll be motivated to implement that into a project, even if that's only for that particular semester. And when you finally take the capstone project, or the internship or something, you can implement all of that together into a singular project, and make a big project out of it. So it will completely depend on you, how do you wanna, or what kind of projects you want to perform for each and every subjects. So you have that freedom of it, and you will have a lot of projects on your resume if you are willing to put in the effort.
Also, just like I'll just add one more thing. So the next semester, a lot of us are taking big data architecture, and that course is a complete project-based course. We are supposed to start the project in the start of the semester, and the course is completely a project-based course. So you will be working on the project and just attending like classes based on what you can implement on your project. So you have courses where you have assignments and projects, but at the same time you have courses which are complete project-based as well, and some courses which are only assignment-based as well. So you have a mix of everything, what you'll be studying on basically.
Yeah, and I think that if experiential learning is what you're looking for, then this program is a great option because of the electives that you can take. I think if you're interested in that type of coursework, you should look into the Atlas Center on campus, which is very well established and renowned for project-based learning, as well as the Engineering Center, which a lot of our classes are housed in. There's a large depth of concepts, and there's a lot of research going on there. So I think if project-based learning is definitely a priority, then this is one of the better programs that you could find.
Thank you. Okay, so this is a great question. What are the pros, cons, implications of this being a brand new program? So all these students here are really in our first cohort of the program. They're all the guinea pigs, So what have you found with this being a new program? Pros, cons, everything in between, if anyone wants to take that.
Sure. So one of the biggest pros I talk about is, yes, we are the guinea pigs, but at the same time, they have given us the freedom of, to learn from us as well. They basically, like, we have multiple, all the professors come in the class and, frequently ask us questions like, what do we want to be covered in the class, or what kind of program and what kind of courses do we want, and basically, like, they'll make it happen. So being a new program, that's one of the things where where the program itself is learning from you, and you get the freedom of selecting what kind of programs you want, what kind of courses you want to attend, or what kind of courses you want to learn from. So that's one of the biggest pros. The cons, I don't think so there are much, because the entire program, the faculties that we have, and the administration that we have is already experienced from previous from their working background. So they have pretty much all the experience that they need to make this program as good as any program which has, let's say, 10 years of 10 years in the making or something like that. And as we mentioned, like because of that, we have the program is very well structured. That's one of the reasons. But yes, the biggest pro that I think is, even after being guinea pigs, the best thing that you get out of it is you can pitch in your ideas, tell them that, hey, this is something that I want to cover, or for this particular subject I want this particular topic to be covered, and they'll make it happen. So I don't think so you will get that much of freedom in any program that is already very well into their timeline. But that's the biggest pro that I think you can have out of it.
I mean, I think one con that I guess a lot of people might think is that you won't have seniors to connect with. You won't have people who have been into the program like that. But I mean, especially for y'all, we are the seniors that you could connect with and ask us questions as many as you want. Uh, yes, I was thinking when I applied to this is that is one of the con that I wouldn't have any seniors to connect with anything. But then what I realized was that since the program is an interdisciplinary program that has people from computer science, from mathematical backgrounds as well, they could act as my seniors. They could act as, okay, I could connect with people from computer science, I could connect with people from math background, and that is what I did. And if anybody is worried about that, I would encourage you all to do that as well. Just speak to people from computer science and just talk to them about the different electives or anything courses that you feel like, oh, okay, how are these courses, how is big data architecture, how is neural networks, how is intro to statistical learning. Just talk to them about that and they'll be able to help you out regarding those courses, because those will be taught by those departmental faculties as well.
Yeah, I think something I'll add is that the core faculty of the program at this point is pretty small. So the statistics professor and the computer science professor that we have this semester, we will also have next semester. And both of those professors are definitely committed to kind of building a community in our classroom, as well as adapting the course based on our backgrounds and kind of what we're interested in learning, as Vishwan was saying. So it just feels good knowing that we're gonna have these same professors and that they're, very committed to, improving themselves as well as improving the classroom for all of us. It's great.
I will add a clarification that some of you kind of touched on, but even though it is a new program, because it's so interdisciplinary, we're really pulling from expertise across different departments across campus. So it's a new program. There's, things that come with that. But as far as like the faculty expertise and things like that, it's pretty well established in fields that CU Boulder is pretty well known for.
There is also another question that I'm just going to briefly touch on because I want to be able to use the next 10 minutes to really be able to hear from students. But someone's curious about, their particular background and if this meets the programming prereqs. The admissions committee will review the documents that you have and then determine if you'll do that bridge to data science pathway or direct to data science pathway. So if you're unsure, then that's something that, we'll communicate to you after you apply to see if you need to take kind of that programming intro class, or if you can kind of jump right into data structures and algorithms. So if you don't know, no worries, you can still fill out the application and then we'll tell you, if we decide to admit you, whether you'd be the bridge to data science or direct to data science pathway. So there is another question about, oops, it went away. But someone had asked about the university and if they do career services events or ways to connect with career and internship opportunities. So has anyone utilized the career services office on campus or started kind of an internship search that they want to share?
I'd like to take that. So there will be a lot of career fairs that you would be have. So CU has this online job portal known as Handshake, and you'll be basically be using that for applying for registering for career fairs, for applying, looking up internships, and using the facilities of career services to like look up your resume, just get a opinion as to how your resume is, what needs to be changed, is it matching a certain format, is something needs to be changed or anything like that. Plus at the same time you'll be having a lot of career fairs. So we have had up till, I think right now we've had 3 or 4 career fairs. We've got to meet people from different companies. We had to interact had a one-on-one session with people from different companies, had a group sessions with them. So you'll pretty much be interacting with a lot of companies as well. Plus there are quite a good number of career fairs that would be there. And regarding internships experience, I would say it is to be honest, it is a luck based scenario. It is difficult, but at the same time, all you have to do is just keep on applying as much as you can. Just once you have your one resume like which you're happy with, you can say, okay, this is like, I'm totally happy with my resume. You could just start applying to different companies and just keep on applying for quite a long time, because you'll get rejects, you'll get some interview calls, then you'll get rejected, and it's just a back and forth process with the companies. And then again, you could be connecting with people from those companies as well, who are the recruiting manager as well, like especially after the career fair. If you're interested in a particular company, I would recommend you to reach out to that person who you spoke with on LinkedIn or somewhere, and just be like, oh, it was nice talking to you, I'm really excited for the opportunity that your company provides, and so and so, and just connect with them. And I guess that is how you would proceed with your internship search, and just keep applying. I would say you could start applying as early as possible, maybe from September, October, or something like that. Even early if you want, if you're that confident about.
Yeah, and at the same time, to talk about the career services office over here, like they host multiple events when it's the internship season, and they give you like events on how to apply for internships, how to use the handshake portal, how to build your resume, how to build your cover letter, and basically they cover each and every part that you want to on your applications that you do for the universities. And at the same time, our program, like the data science program, also hosts an event in coordinates with the career services office, where they'll just specifically cover all the topics that you need to cover for your resume and cover letters, especially for the applying for data scientists or data engineer or data analyst jobs out there in the world. So it's pretty much well covered, and the office also works very nicely. Even if you want, like, you can schedule a one-to-one session with them and get all the details that you want from them. Ask them to review your application, your resume, your cover letters, and everything, and they'll help you out with each and everything. So I guess that's a very good thing.
Great. So we have about 5 minutes left. So I'm going to combine some of the questions that we've gotten about workload and part-time jobs and things like that. So in terms of, what is the workload experience? Is there time to, be successful in your classes, relax, maintain a part-time job if you're interested, and how is really the graduate experience maybe different than your undergraduate experience? So if each of you just kind of want to take a turn and answer that question, and how you have kind of maintained, graduate study, that would be great.
Sure. I'll take that again. Okay, so to talk about the workload experience that we have, it's pretty balanced. We have talked about this before as well, but it's pretty balanced. It's up to you, if you feel like you there are a few subjects for which you need to put in more effort, then yes, you will have to put in more effort. But it completely depends on you. The kind of workload that the professors provide on an average level is very balanced. You can have time to explore Boulder or explore Colorado for that sense. You can do your part-time job. You can easily put in 12 to 13 or maybe even 15 hours in your part-time job, or even more. It completely depends on you, on how much you think you need to put effort in your career and on your courses workload, basically. But in terms of assignments, projects, midterms, exams, and everything, that is very balanced. If you are pretty confident about yourselves, you can easily do whatever you want. You can be in go into extracurricular activities, whatever you like, or take the time off for your part-time job or anything. So I guess the workload is very balanced. To talk about if we have the differences between basically a graduate and an undergraduate studies. Coming from India, I do not have very good experience in my undergraduate. The way our programs are structured back in India is not even close to how it is structured over here. So I guess as in somebody else can answer that from their own experience of their differences between here. But from India to here, the one thing that you will for any Indians out there, the one thing that you will see that over here they do not focus on what kind of theoretical knowledge or how nicely you can write the textbook language on your exams. They majorly focus on getting some practical experience basically. So in India we have this thing where we need that actual language in the final exam. There's nothing like that in over here. The major thing that they check over here is how well you can get all the knowledge, understand the concepts, and implement that in the real world out there, on real world examples, and basically understand from all of that. So I guess that's all I have.
I think somebody asked about like can people work full time while studying. So I think as an international student you can't work full time, but obviously I think most of us are working part time as well as like doing our curriculum and working part time. So I think that is possible. It also depends on how well you manage your time. For example, like I'm taking all the courses. I'm an active member in women in computing groups, the programming clubs, and a number of different clubs in the university. At the same time, I'm working part-time. So it totally depends on how well you manage your time.
Yeah, and just one more question that somebody asked was if there are sufficient jobs available on the campus. There are a lot of jobs that you can apply for on the campus. It depends, like what kind of job you can find, but basically, like I guess CU Boulder has enough jobs, and the campus is big enough to host each and every person who is looking for a part-time job. You won't miss out on it. So yes, you will have to look keep on looking at the portal, the students job portal that we have over here, but at the same time, like you can easily get a part-time job over here, I think.
Yeah, I can build on to like the differences in undergrad, like for like any undergrads in the States. I think the biggest difference is like the leniency in between like grad school and undergrad. Like the professors in grad school, like they're teaching what, 30, 40 of us, not 100 or so. So if you personally miss an assignment, they'll most likely, like, life happens, they understand that, and they'll be like, okay, extension, which is really nice. Like, of course, they're not going to do that for every single assignment, And for our stats class too, our professor scheduled our exam around our time. Like, we were able to email him and say, hey, I don't want the exam, like, for example, tomorrow, because for me, I'm going to be flying out. So him making the test yesterday was really convenient for us. And it's just really nice. And another thing too is you're just building off of knowledge that you probably already know. For example, in stats class, I knew a lot of the stuff already, and it was a few more new things, but it was still a lot. And then a lot more new computational stuff for like coding and everything was the new part for me. But everything combines together, unlike undergrad where you're learning probably like a comm class with a random like physics class that you have to take. No, you're not doing that. Everything is like mushed together so that you're building into like one thing, which is really nice.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for your wonderful answers and for the wonderful questions too. So we are at time, unfortunately, but if there are any additional questions that we weren't able to answer today, feel free to email datascience@colorado.edu, and I'll be sure to answer those questions, or if they're relevant for students, we'll make sure that you get an answer as well. So thank you so much for our panelists here who were able to share about their experiences in the program so far. And thank you everyone for joining us near and far. Once again, just as a quick reminder, the application is due January 15th at 10 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you're interested in applying for fall 2022, do not miss that deadline. It's a little under 2 months away. So feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you on campus next year.
And I'll also throw in a little plug that if you want more webinars, there are some on our website under the admissions page. You can find the events there. So hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.